It's 14 degrees in Melbourne. I'm Craig Wilson, 1278 3AW. Now it's time for Nightline with Bruce Mansfield and Philip Brady.
Everybody, and welcome to a brand new day. Welcome to Nightline, coming to you live this is for the first time down in Bank Street South Melbourne, but we were here on Saturday midnight, of course Sunday morning, but we're here officially at Bank Street. I've been listening to the station all day. Various personalities on 3AW have been talking about the great skyline that is draped behind us, and it looks a bit gloomy at the moment. Oh, hasn't it been a rotten day? And it's not much of a night out there either, with sheets of rain across the skyline. But welcome to our studios. Your show is Nightline. If you've heard something expressed on air, Joe and John perhaps, or Neil Mitchell, and you'd like to have a chat about it on the news, 696-1278 is our new number, 696-1278. We'd like to hear from you on any issue that takes your fancy tonight. Just to acknowledge a few Christmas cards that came my way. What's the matter with you? What has sent you off into a howling mess of quivering flesh?
Hi folks, how are you? Good to see you. I'm actually in no hurry to make an appearance because in the movie Scott of the Antarctic, it took John Mills many hours to reach the South Pole.
And look at him. What did it do for Scott? He was buried in a landslide down there.
By the way, we expect to have Sir John Mills on Nightline probably on Thursday night.
Is he coming out to Bank Street? Because I'm going to tell him don't go via the Southeastern Freeway.
I've had a nightmare trip. I happen to have afternoon tea with my aunties in Hawthorn this afternoon, so I thought I'll come straight down to Bank Street because the last time we were here it was dark at midnight the other night. I thought, well, it won't take long to come down the Southeastern Freeway, which is around Alexandra Avenue and on the Yarra. Well, I left Hawthorn at 7 o'clock, and as you know me, at 10 to 8, you saw me for the first time looking flustered and wan.
I'm exactly the same.
I got caught up in bumper-to-bumper traffic on that Southeastern Freeway. I understand there was an accident earlier in the day.
Well, can't they clear it? I mean, that happened about 4 o'clock.
I know it did. So I thought, 7 o'clock, it'll be okay now. It'll be a breeze. Yes. Well, I'm telling you, it wasn't. And you see, I don't even have a car phone, so I was stuck there in bumper-to-bumper traffic, moving an inch at a time. I thought, I won't make it. He's going to do the first half hour on his own.
Yeah. Well, I was exactly the same. You know, the old La Trobe Street studios, it took me 10 minutes to get from home to there, without a word of a lie.
Yes, I believe that.
10 minutes down that freeway, onto past the flats in Carlton and down to the exhibition buildings.
How long did it take you tonight?
It took me an hour. I went down the southeastern, past the mental home. What's that called?
Willsmere now. The Kew Cottages.
Went off at Hoddle Street.
Yes.
Tore down Hoddle. Over the bridge at Richmond Football Club.
Right.
Around the corner. And there I stayed for 3/4 of an hour outside that Olympic pool.
Yes, you know why, don't you? Because of the southern stand at the MCG. There will be interruptions to Brunton Avenue.
What's that got to do with it?
There were signs everywhere. You should have read them before you got on the Hoddle Street.
There's no builders there at 5 o'clock. The thing's finished. The thing, they're not working at 6, 7 o'clock at night.
I'll tell you what to do. There are several alternatives, but I was really flustered because with no car phone, no walkie-talkie, no two-way, I couldn't let my buddy know I was on the way. I thought you'd think I'd gone to La Trobe Street by mistake and was doing circles up and down La Trobe Street waiting to get in.
I think in our sunroom, my sunroom at home, if Tony Bell can put in just 2 adaptable exchanges from 2 mics, we could sit there in deck chairs overnight and do the show from there.
I'd like to do it from the bedroom.
Well, no, we won't do it from there.
No, I'll do it. You do it from your sunroom and I'll do it from my bedroom.
But that's got whiskers on it, coming in here at 6 o'clock at night in bumper-to-bumper traffic.
Oh, is it going to be just as bad getting home?
No, it'll be all right. Well, there's no traffic, at midnight.
Well, you can't be too sure. It hasn't cleared yet. The traffic that I got caught up in coming into town might be on its way home from town.
And I think the first thing the executive should do here is have a little bell downstairs. I'm sick of throwing tennis balls up on the studio window to get in.
Well, listen, I notice here, and this is the first time we've seen these studios in daylight.
Yeah.
Because, well, it's not a very nice evening, as you say. But why the bulletproof glass here? Let me just check.
So that's a worry. Yes, it's 2 planes of bulletproof glass.
I know why that is.
Yeah.
When Mrs. Barbara Bush is in the studio here with us, with the Secret Service, obviously she doesn't want anyone taking a pot shot at her from Menzies Rialto.
It could have been from Eon days when there was a bit of payola going round.
I wouldn't know, because I was on the Gold Coast for 5. Don't know anything about that. I was away for 5 years.
Oh, yes, we know.
Are we using Eon's equipment, are we?
No, this is all 3AW, brand new equipment. It's the supersonic sound of the 90s.
I think we might go back to Latrobe Street and do an outside broadcast like we did last night. Why couldn't we do Nightline from there every night for the rest of our lives?
It's been demolished. Whelan's in there now. Walls are being caved in as we speak.
It won't be Whelan. I think he went under.
He went under one of his buildings. But no, there'll be somebody demolishing Latrobe Street as we speak.
You missed a wonderful staff party over the weekend at which our chairman, Sir Peter Nixon from Bendigo, got up and sang...
Goody, goody.
No, south of the border down Mexico way. Is there any way, Rowan or David, we can get a cassette of the chairman singing south of the border down Mexico way from Friday night staff party?
Yeah, someone would have it. Maybe Tony's got it.
Oh, well, I'd just love to play it for you.
Would they be looking for a release on Hallmark later on in the year for Christmas gift?
Oh, I can't comment on that.
I mean, you think I'm out of tune with Goody Goody, with respect to our well-beloved chairman.
Was this one of these Jap places where you sing to a band track?
I think it's called the karaoke, isn't it?
Yes.
And they provide all the music, and they said to me, what would you like to sing? I said, I'll do Goody Goody. And the bloke said, Billy, his name was, he said, I'm very sorry, that's not on my list. I said, don't worry about that, Billy. I've got my own band track in the glove box.
Mm-hmm.
At which point I proceeded back to my car and produced my own music.
Did you mime?
No. I had a band track, but I sang live and wore that magnificent yellow jacket with the Olympic rings.
Oh, no. You didn't wear that on Friday night.
A lot of
Peter
people
Abel.
No, Sir Peter Nixon, he wanted to know where you were. Also, Lord Eddie was looking for you.
Well, I hope you explained to them that I had a lot of preparation for Remember When to do, and I had to get out to the coast to visit an ailing aunt.
I thought you were calling on Ray Malloy. Also, just to see if you've read the chairman's report yet. I bet you haven't.
I have. I was there when they prepared it.
I saw you flick it in the waste paper basket last
did not.
week.
I keep all of that.
Okay, who's Graham Pithy? Where does he fit into the scheme of things?
Is the chief accountant from Bendigo. Looks after Southern Cross Communications.
Yes, I think you're right. And Alan? What about Alan with the glasses?
Alan with the glasses? Alan Pizzy.
Oh, you are bluffing. You don't know who's paying your wages.
I do. I know them very well.
At least I think you could have made the effort to be there for a few minutes.
You know that
and
I had...
spread Christmas cheer among the board of directors.
You big boy.
I mean, especially after the recent ratings and the revenue.
Well, thanks a lot. The Twin Towns Tiger said to me, I'll represent you, buddy. I'll make sure that the Christmas greetings come from both of us. And I said, thank you so much.
And I did. I got up and made a speech about you.
Did you?
Yeah, didn't I, Ron? I got up and explained why Bruce couldn't be there.
I can't look.
They were all under the weather. Everybody was, including Sir Peter Nixon, they were very embarrassed when the waiter came around handing out Remy Martins. I said, I'll have a glass of milk, please.
Oh, you did?
Everyone ran the other way.
That's disgraceful.
Yeah, I said, but because it's Christmas time, a glass of milk and put a sprig of holly in it.
you with your glass of milk and your yellow jacket.
Well done on last night's Remember When, and I say well done to you because it was your inspiration to do the very last broadcast from Latrobe Street and to delve back into the archives through 60 years, and I give you all the credit for that because that was your baby, and it came off so well.
Well, if it was my baby, I couldn't have ever attempted to do it without your help. And the names that you contacted and got in touch with for the program was tremendous, and that effort on your part is commended. I also commend you for a very, very important part, and a lot of performers wouldn't do it, and that's to take a back seat on a couple of those interviews, particularly with Darren and John Blackman, where my experiences were the only ones that he shared at the radio station. And you, in your bigness, I believe, sat back and allowed that to happen without trying to come in and make yourself part of it. And I do commend you for that. And you're a very big performer for that, because there's a lot of people in this town, as you know, that wouldn't have done that.
Well, that didn't cross my mind. You didn't need to say that. I mean, it was just the way it was, and I enjoyed sitting back.
It crossed my mind, and if you're going to make an issue of it, I'll storm out any minute from now.
Now, do we have an office here? What's the situation? Have our lockers come down from Latrobe Street?
I have just seen the plan for the office block, right?
Yes.
John Hindle's separate office from his drive department.
Before you go any further, about 2 months ago, Steve Price, our very genial and affable and pleasant program director, offered us an office very near the studios, which I think he said, there's a key, and you'll have to share the office at times with Rex Hunt.
That's the only exception. He said, this is all yours. You'll have brown-built cabinets, you'll have wardrobes, hot and cold running mates, everything's in there, but Rex Hunt, and some conditions do apply, maybe in there occasionally.
Yeah.
And we thought, well, football's only 6 months of the year, that's fine by us. Well, I go in there today. The office plan says this office is for nighttime, weekends, and transients. In other words, people...
Don't look at me and call me a transient, thank you.
No,
You're the one who keeps high heel shoes in your wardrobe, not me.
How dare you? There's my wife.
Last time I was there,
share them with my
I saw
wife.
that blonde wig, that long dress, and those high heel shoes.
That's not mine. That's the fellow next door. He pops in for an occasional ribby mutton. No, but I was very surprised. There's 18 people in the office.
Oh, well, that's all right. I mean, they're all reputable people. Nobody's going to take any of your joke books.
But there's... Thank you very much. You really know how to hurt.
I'm very amused. You were starting off the show on your own. I was waiting for you to be funny, and I thought, what's he going to do? He's going to acknowledge Christmas cards. Thank you very much.
Well, what would you do?
It's like you're on a telephone. He's going to sit here reading names.
Oh, the Twin Towns Tiger says to me, after every commercial break, I'll come back with 3 acknowledgements of Christmas cards, which shot 5 minutes to ribbons.
On 3AW, you're listening to Nightline for New Oakley Motors. Trust the top team for Ford.
You know, one of the questions one is most frequently asked in life is, does one eat paper? One invariably replies, not if it's the Times. But if it's the paper one came out and buys a dessert nougat, one most certainly does. Because it's rice paper, and it's very nice. And it's simply there to protect one's fingers from becoming sticky and leave them free for waving or shaking hands or gardening.
Callard and Bowser. That's English for nougat.
Is that sunscreen I can smell, Norm?
Yeah.
Are you going out in the sun?
The life be in it, mobs say. If you're watching or playing sport or that or having fun in the sun, then whack on the sunscreen. And not just any old sunscreen. A 15 plus for proper protection and a safer tan.
Oh, Norm. They don't mean if you're watching the telly.
I can't be too careful. You ought to whack some on too, Lib, if you're going to stand there.
On 3AW, you're with Bruce Mansfield and Philip Brady on Nightline.
And all jokes aside, it is good to be with you tonight at a brand new location overlooking the city of Melbourne, now bathed in winter, wet and dark and bleak conditions, but we're going to have a good night together on 626-1278, the number.
I'd like to thank Mrs. Blackney for her lovely Christmas card. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Not to mention a card, too, from Margaret Donnelly and family of Wattleglen. Lovely card.
Thank you to everybody at Channel 9 Publicity, to Kelly Davis, Robin Stallwood, and Torina Fabric. Thank you very much.
A Merry Christmas to us from Alma Anderson. Nice to get your card. And also, we'd like to acknowledge a donation from Taylor's Lakes here. From Pandora's Box. Who would she be?
Oh, that's the one that you know from the Gold Coast. Who keeps hounding you in the middle of the morning.
Would that be from Bell of Taylor's Lakes?
That's
with
right.
2 hugs and kisses?
Yes, Tony Bell. It's your kind and thoughtful way of bringing joy and brightening days that make someone special, from Helen Clinton of Strathmore. Thank you, Helen.
Actually, this says, tuning into Nightline is like opening Pandora's box. It's terrific. From Ball of Taylor's Lakes. When I was speaking to you on Wednesday night, Phil, you said Sansa McDougall's was in Burke Street. Well, there was a shop. I meant the big factory in Spencer Street. I think that's referring back to Remember When. And also a card from our good friend Alex Hare, Bruce, who's been such an assistance to us this year on our programs.
Yes, we couldn't have done it without Alex. Thank you for that.
The reason I'm acknowledging a few cards, it'll be impossible for us to write back to everybody personally.
Well, there's a 44-gallon drum of them downstairs, and we'll just go through them gradually as the day goes by.
Okay, a topic for Nightliners on 696-1278. That's 696-1278. Based on my experience trying to get down here tonight on the Southeastern Freeway and the problems Bruce had around the Olympic pool, the question for Nightliners is this. What's the worst traffic snarl you've ever been caught up in, and how did it affect you? What's the worst traffic jam you've ever been in, and how did it affect you? 696 1278. You know, Bruce, people's personalities can change when they're behind the wheel of a car, and even when they're out of the car. A very good experience was when I dropped into the reject shop in Burke Road, Camberwell, the other day, and two ladies were fighting for one car space behind the shops there in Burke Road. And one had got out of a car and was beckoning her husband to bring the car in as I was driving out. Another lady insisted she'd been there earlier. And both women started to have a punch-up in the car park.
What, literally fight?
Yes, they were throwing string bags at each other and bashing each other with their umbrellas and kicking each other. And I couldn't believe that two civilised women in Melbourne would behave like this over one parking spot.
That's right, and there's were you trying to get into the handicap zone. This is Nightline on 3AW.
So the question for Nightline is just this. What's the worst traffic scenario you've ever been in, and how did it affect you?
Well, that's lovely, isn't it? That is wonderful. Here in the Bank Street studios of 3AW, this morning, Brett McLeod opened up with a Melbourne student who's developing a vaccine that could relieve hay fever and seasonal asthma. A marvellous, in-depth interview. Margaret Fletcher went on to speak to the Australian airport officials who say that airports should be smoke-free, the Australian Medical Association said today. Joe and John went on to speak of a dose of discipline. In some towns, there are Australians out of work, and to tackle that urgent problem, national service could be introduced to tackle this huge problem. And you open with, what's the worst traffic jam you've ever been in?
Listen carefully, I'll say this only once. Crisp fresh lettuce, 10 cents each. Delicious exotic mangoes, 49 cents. A1 produce at the Jam Factory Fresh Food Market, Chapel Street, Monday and Tuesday only.
Merry Christmas! Come and join the RACV, la-la-la-la-la, you can't go wrong.
Why, hello, Mary.
Hi, Mr. Jones.
You're out very late.
My car just broke down.
Oh, dear.
But don't worry. Grandma gave me a wonderful Christmas present.
Really?
My very own RACV membership.
Now, that's a sensible gift.
Because I'm under 21, there's no joining fee. Could I use your phone?
Yeah.
Hello, RACV?
For $41, give the Christmas gift that lasts all year. An RACV membership. All we need is the registration number. Join at any RACV branch.
Come and join the RACV, la-la-la-la-la, you can't go wrong.
Here's nutritionist Louise Nicholson speaking with Dan Presser, Managing Director of the Sunraysia Natural Beverage Company.
Sunraysia 100% natural prune juice has really taken Australia by storm. Why? It's not just a great taste. Usually when you think of prune juice, you think of its laxative effect. But this isn't so, Dan.
That's right, Louise. Sunraysia prune juice is only a mild laxative, while being a great source of many vitamins and minerals. Sunraysia natural prune juice is high in carbohydrates, fibre, potassium, vitamin C and calcium. And at the same time, Sunraysia is low in salt and fat.
Sunraysia natural prune juice is also a good source of iron.
Yes, Louise, iron's essential for normal body function. It carries oxygen around the body and helps us breathe.
As the ad says, you can drink it hot or cold, and it's approved by the National Heart Foundation.
It certainly is. More people are discovering Sunraysia every day and enjoying it.
Thanks, Dan. Sunraysia 100% natural prune juice is available in 250ml, 1 litre and 2 litre glass bottles at all Coles and Safeway supermarkets.
Don't take Patel May. That's still on at New Oakley Motors. This is the way they're running this. If you buy a car, whether it be a demo model or a brand new car, a Fairlane or a Laser, who are you waving at?
I'm waving to Steve Vizard. I
Where
can
is
see
he?
him. He's there in his dressing room there at Channel 7.
G'day, Steve.
Just across from Bank Street. Look, there he is.
Oh, yeah, and he's putting his punch out. You know the way he punches his hand?
Yeah.
G'day, Steve. Oh, look. Jennifer Kite. Can you see her in the women's there, just past the newsroom?
What, the women's hospital?
No, the
Oh, yes, I
bathroom.
can too. Yes, I can. It's wonderful, isn't it? This is very handy if I'm called away to do a Tonight Show. You know, I'll only be gone for 10 minutes, won't I?
Oh,
You know, might no, Steve gets a sore throat or something.
You take advantage of every situation. I bet you've written to the general manager of Seven saying, "Hello, I'm your new neighbour."
No, but I could sprint down there in 5 minutes.
I'm
You wouldn't know I was
available.
gone.
I'm available for voiceovers, smoke nights, or the odd sports night.
Handy being close to a television station, isn't it?
Don't pay till May. Oh, look, he's like a matron with a hospital when it comes to television. Remember, you don't pay till May 92 on any of the demos or used cars at New Oakley Motors.
Marion's having second thoughts about coming down to stay. She rang me this evening with a whole checklist and said, excuse me, do you really want to see me? Am I really welcome? how often will we see each other during the year? I said, we'll see each other probably about 12 times a year.
Yeah, but you see...
I said, we'll see each other on an average once a month.
You see what's happening. The prick of Cupid's dart is just coming out of the woodwork. She wants the romantic attachment, you see. It's not just going to be beer and Skittles and Phillip Island and the Dandenongs. She wants a little of the old...
Nookie.
Yes, a little bit of...
No.
Well, that's what she wants. That's what a woman...
I told her to be just like it was up on the Gold Coast.
Then what was it like there? Oh, you said it was like going out with your mother. Positive. Well, that's what she said
grandmother.
to me. Yeah. Oh, you are...
Don't pay till May at New Oakley Motors. Or if she's got a loop in tonight, am I in for it?
No, she wouldn't. She's doing classes for the midwives. Doesn't she do how to give birth classes? Remember, don't pay till May 92 on demos or used cars at New Oakley Motors.
Buy one of New Oakley Motors' fleet of executive-driven demos from Fairlanes to Laser with no repayments till May next year, but some conditions do apply.
Yes, talk to Bob Smale on demos or Nick Wrinkle on used cars. New Oakley Motors, corner Dandenong and Ferntree Gully Roads, Oakley. LMCT 414. This is Nightline, 28 minutes past 8 on 3AW.
I'm glad the panel have found their way to Bank Street, number 43 Bank Street, South Melbourne.
Yeah, very good of them.
I'd like you to meet them as they come in, Bruce, one by one. Could we have a little panel music just to make them feel at home?
Come.
And on Nightline tonight, for the first time from our new address, here comes Cliff Richard.
Hello, Cliff.
Jesse Matthews.
Hello, Jess. How are you?
Flash Gordon.
Hello, Flash.
Sir Joe Bielke-Peterson.
Joe, how are you?
Ray Charles.
Ray Charles.
Just lead him in, if you will.
Yes, come in.
John Gordon. Hermione Badley.
Hello, Heim.
Frankie Davidson.
Frank.
Swallow and Ariel, well-known trapeze act.
Hello, Swallow.
Dr. Mackenzie of Dr. Mackenzie's Menthoids fame.
Hello, Duck.
Hugh McHovel.
Hello, Hugh.
And the Vienna Boys Choir.
Hello, Vi. Gentlemen and
you have got it. You almost left that behind in Latrobe Street last night.
We were at the studio.
Juniperonia's little...
we stayed there till 1 o'clock doing videos. Phil wanted to take video pictures of me and him.
I borrowed a video camera for the night.
In the old studio. Well, you're doing this for a friend. And there was June's tambourine flung in the foyer. So, gentlemen,
be seated.
Every day, thousands of Australians are using bio hair tin. Why?
Hey, your hair looks terrific. It's so shiny and healthy. What have you done to it?
I switched to Bio Hair Tin shampoo and conditioner. Why don't you try it?
The unique combination of the natural vitamins and pure rosemary oil in bio hair tin make your hair soft, manageable and glossy.
It really makes a difference. Maybe I should switch to Bio Hair Tin.
Oh, you'll be very glad you did.
Bio hair tin, available from pharmacies everywhere.
The Xerox Office Starter Kit, a fax machine, copier, 1,000 copies free, 150 fax pages free, and a 3-year unconditional replacement guarantee, all for just $79 a month. Offer finishes Christmas Eve, so call Xerox now on 246 3600.
Welcome back to Nightline. It's 29 minutes to 9 on 3AW. And thanks for your calls, too, to people who have been hanging on for a little while on our new number, 696 1278.
I wonder who will be our very first caller on Nightline, because I predicted when we were at Bank Street over the weekend, I said, I bet June from North Melbourne is the first to speak to Keith. And she was.
Yes, she was, too. I heard that.
So
yes,
I wonder...
Did your teeth just fall out there?
No, it's all right. That's just, it's just my wooden leg. Don't
right.
Don't draw
Everything's
attention to
dropping off around here. Right. It's Alphonse.
Oh, no. Hello, Alphonse.
How you going, boys?
We're good, thanks.
Yes.
And Adam delivered them on Saturday.
Oh, good.
Yvonne.
Good.
And the box is chock-a-block, plus there's a food hamper and that inside.
Oh, that's lovely.
So, you said you would do anything for anybody.
Hmm?
Right. You're booked in for Epworth Hospital for 10 o'clock on Wednesday morning.
Ah, you...
Take my place.
Yes, I'll bet. It's coming up quickly, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll only be in for 2 days, and then after the holidays is the big one.
Yeah.
Oh, so at least you'll be home for Christmas, Rosemary.
Yes, I will feel, and I'll be ready for Marion's wedding to you, because it's leap year, isn't it?
Yeah, but you see, in a leap year, that's the year that... isn't that the year that the bloke proposes?
No, the woman proposes.
No wonder she's so keen to get down here in February.
She's...
Oh, yeah.
That's why I said I would be a matron of honour, Bruce.
She rang this evening, Rosemary, and she had a list of conditions. You know, if I'm in Melbourne, is it all right if I'm flatting in the same suburb you live in? I said, no, I think we both deserve a bit of breathing space. And then she wanted to tie me down to how many times a year she'd see me. And I thought it was fair, Rosemary, to suggest about once a month. Did you?
Yes, well...
On an average.
Do you want to know something?
Yes.
You know my little doggy I got from the Lost Dogs home?
Uh-huh.
I get more kisses in 5 seconds than I've had off my other dog for 3 years.
What about from your husband?
No comment.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you brought that up, because...
I'm like you and Jill, Philip.
Yeah, well, the point is, you know, Marion has to realise she does take second place to Luke, whom I've known for 9 years. Marion I've known for 4.
Yes.
So she must know her place.
That's right, and just because she's a woman and the other character is a dog has got nothing to do with it.
I mean, it doesn't stop me putting a lead on Marion and taking her for a walk, does it?
Throw her a good hour and she can sleep in the kennel.
And by the way, I rang the news station straight away at 12 o'clock on Saturday night.
Yeah, we heard you on the air with Keith, as a matter of fact, Rosemary, and we're very thrilled that you were one of the first callers through to Bank Street. We weren't taking any calls in that first hour.
No. 3 minutes to 9. Hello to Taxi Jack.
Yeah, this is the Taxi Jack, Bruce.
Hello, Taxi. How are you?
Good. This is the first time I've got on your show.
Good.
Now, it's the one.
Yeah.
I just want to give you a quick way of getting to the studio.
Oh, please do. From the...
Where you live, you know?
From the freeway.
From the... Well, if you come down the way you did today...
Yeah.
Down Princess Street...
Yes.
Over into Denmark Street...
Yes.
Continue straight on and down into Powell Street... Right-hand turn into Swan Street, past Leonda restaurant.
Yes.
Make a left-hand turn down and come across Madden Grove, round past the Burnley Golf Course, and go across the McRobbins Street Bridge, Robbins Bridge, and then go along Alexander Avenue.
Oh, Jack, that's where I went wrong. I should have come down Alexander Avenue instead of coming along the South East Freeway.
Down Alexander Avenue, up Darling Street. That's a nice name, isn't it, Darling?
Yes.
Up Darling Street, right and turn into Domain. Go straight down Domain and cross over, all the way, cross over St Kilda Road, make a right-hand turn, and then come down Park Street into Wells Street, a left-hand turn, you're at the studio.
Oh, that's what we'll do. Now, could you decipher that and tell me how to do it?
Yeah, would you mind picking me up tomorrow night, please, and I'll navigate.
Thanks a lot, Taxi.
On before you go.
Yeah.
And the funniest, the biggest traffic hold-up I had...
Yes, Jack.
Right, was entering the Toccomarine Freeway, going towards Essendon, going from Flemington Road. Traffic started to flow and all of a sudden it stopped. And the passenger I had in the car said, oh, this is driving me crazy. So I got out and walked back, and I was left there. He paid the fare and I was left there for half an hour going up before I could get off at Brunswick Road.
Ah, that's an experience and a half, and I suppose you've got to take that sort of luck with the taxi job. Thanks for your call, Taxi Track Jack, and also the information of how to get to the studio.
Back with you after the 9 o'clock news on 696 1278.
Another night in Melbourne and another Nightline after 9 o'clock news.